The room to ward off spirits under Tokyo Station. There are numerous urban legends regarding the ground beneath Tokyo's railways. Some say they house secret bomb shelters. Others say there are hidden portals to another world. But this one in particular claims you can find a small facility beneath Tokyo Station that actually has nothing to do with running the trains. Not really. Beneath Tokyo Station, you can supposedly find a rather long, rectangular room. The existence of this room was apparently revealed in 1980 by a Tokyo Station employee when spreading out a map of the underground floor plan, although nobody was supposed to know of its existence. But what made this room extra creepy was the writing on it. "Place to ward off evil spirits," it said, and the door to this room is locked tight. Supposedly, many long-time workers of the station don't even know of its existence, and it has been left abandoned for so long that nobody is quite sure what will happen if anyone tries to open it again. Perhaps it's best not to test fate and find out. The gigantic abandoned buildings of Toyohashi. If you believe the rumors, there is a gigantic abandoned building complex somewhere in Toyohashi, Aichi Prefecture. Rumors posted in late 2007 claimed that a Ni channel user visited these enormous ruins over the weekend, but they found it strange that nobody knew anything about this particular location. The ruins consisted of two large apartment buildings that looked like they were frozen in time, sometime in the early 1980s. Alongside these buildings was a small park, some residential houses, a meeting place, pond, and some abandoned cars. The user even detailed a few landmarks they saw on the way. There was a waterfall, and a bench under a small roof. Strangely, however, there was no road leading up to these abandoned buildings, leaving the poster wondering how anyone there got in and out at the time. Curious. People have spent years trying to find these large abandoned buildings detailed in the post, but to no avail. Did they actually exist and have since been destroyed? Or were they simply a work of fiction? If they were real, why were they so suddenly abandoned, and how did cars get in and out with no road? It's a riddle wrapped in a mystery inside an enigma that no one has been able to solve until this day. Mirror Shrine. Mirrors are held to be sacred, mysterious objects in numerous religions around the world, and Shinto is no different. One of the imperial family's 3 sacred objects is a mirror, and they have long been treated as precious objects all over Japan. However, there's one mirror in particular, located in a shrine in Shimane Prefecture, that can predict misfortune. It's said that if you look into this mirror and things seem blurry and doubled, then danger is on the horizon. This mirror is treated like a kami-sama, and if you happen to see double when looking into it, then it means you have potentially been possessed. Numerous people have simply vanished after looking at the mirror in what many say scarily resembles being spirited away. It's possible that the doubled up images represent a break in the mind and body, but the full truth remains unknown. If you dare take a look for yourself, then keep in mind that what you see might change your fate forever. Jigoku Erika. An urban legend that sprang to life in the early 2000s, Jigoku Erika is an entity said to reside in the Mixi website. Mixi is a popular online journaling service in Japan, and during the early 2000s, rumors quickly spread that if you used the words drunk driving in your diary entries on the site, you would soon be visited by Jigoku Erika. This unknown entity would expose your crimes and set about destroying your life, ensuring that you got fired from your job, amongst other things. Jigoku Erika's ability to find people using the term drunk driving was so good that someone once tested the theory by posting in a long-dead community on the website. The footprints, a feature letting you know how many times a page has been visited, suddenly increased by the exact number of times the phrase had been used. The page had been visited by one Jigoku Erika. Serving as both a warning not to drink and drive and to be careful of what information you share on the internet, stories of Jigoku Erika eventually slowed down over the years. But word has it, she's still lurking out there somewhere, even now. You mustn't record yourself sleep talking. You mustn't record yourself sleep talking. This is especially dangerous if you happen to live alone. To be fair, simply recording yourself sleep talking is fine, but if you listen to it, then it's game over. Imagine, before you go to sleep, you start recording. In the morning when you wake up, you play the tape back and think, so this is what I say in my sleep. However, immediately after that is when you will taste true fear. For you see, your voice won't be the only one on the tape. You'll actually hear yourself conversing with a mysterious other being in the room with you. If you live with family, you may be able to convince yourself that it's one of them playing a trick on you. But if you live alone, well, it's unknown whether the owner of that mysterious voice is a ghost or not. But one thing's for sure, they're not of this world. You mustn't record yourself sleep talking, and you absolutely must not listen to it. If you dare to try it for yourself, there are no guarantees as to what might happen. The dark figure who appears before you die. Rumors on the internet recently have spoken of a mysterious figure that approaches people on the verge of death to help them. Sometimes it's a dead sibling or family member, and sometimes it's just a voice. But either way, this figure will point people in the right direction and even help them on their way. This might sound all well and good, but my personal experience might change your mind. My grandfather died of cancer. Right when he was on the verge of death and his consciousness was hazy, he suddenly screamed. "Get rid of that thing by my feet," he said. My parents and I jumped up, surprised, but there was nobody else in the room. "Go away! Stop pulling me! Stop pulling me!" he continued. The nurses came running at the commotion and calmed him down with a sedative. A short while later, he passed away. When I spoke to the nurse later, she said, "This sort of thing often happens. The patients see a dark figure and they complain about it pulling their feet. It's not uncommon to hear people say this before they die." It's not just nice people who appear before you when you're about to die. If you happen to see a dark figure before you, be careful. The duration of a ghost's existence. Most ghost sightings in Japan involve fallen soldiers, and you almost never hear of ghosts from older periods. The reason for that is because ghosts also have a lifespan, and that lifespan is 400 to 500 years. They say that humans are reincarnated once every century. Ghosts have fallen out of this cycle. They linger in this world for centuries, but even they have a limit, and it's around 400 years. Nations tend to go through periods of strife and periods of stability every 400 to 500 years. Coincidence? These lost souls, in order to be reincarnated, also affect the building of new eras in our world. During periods of stability, they cause chaos, and during periods of chaos, they bring about stability. If we look at Japan's history, the year 300 saw Japan begin unification, and for 400 years saw a country in chaos. 700 saw the beginning of the Taika reform, and for 500 years, there was stability. 1200 saw the beginning of the Warring States period, and for 400 years, there was chaos. 1600 saw the beginning of the Tokugawa family's reign, and this was followed by stability. This means that soon, another change is coming, and Japan is about to enter another period of chaos. So what did you guys think of this week's legends? Do you have any similar ones in your own country? Let me know in the comments below and I'll see you again next time.